Greetings and salutations, knowledge seekers, and welcome to this video. Today I'm gonna talk to you about the stupidity of watching 10-minute videos on YouTube that pretend to help you with your life problems and pretend to offer you a solution to all your struggles. And I'll tell you why everybody else's content sucks and why I should focus on my stuff and my stuff alone. Yeah, I said it. I think that with the information that I have to present, I think what I have to offer is better than what exists out there. And honestly, that's the whole reason for me to start this channel. As the 10 plus of you that have watched some of my previous videos might also notice, I no longer have the paper bag on my head. That's because that was a lie, right? I was trying to present a certain personality, a certain facade that's not really my own. I was just afraid of potential ramification related to some of the stuff that I'm going to say on this channel going forward. And I didn't want to put myself in a position where people that I know might think less of me, but who cares? Nobody has been watching, or almost nobody has been watching these videos up until this point, so I might as well use this opportunity to, express myself freely and really say what's on my mind instead of pretending to be somebody that I'm not, somebody that tried to be more positive than what I actually am, somebody that wanted to present solutions to life's problems when I know that that's not really what everybody is looking for. People are looking for shortcuts. People are looking for guidance, for somebody to give the illusion of holding somebody else's hand. If I can kind of guide you throughout life's difficulties and challenges, that would be very much appreciated. And if I can do the work for you, that would be optimal, right? That's what we all want. That's what we all desire. But the reality is that's not how life works, right? I've looked at many different videos throughout the years and don't get me wrong, some of them are based on very solid scientific research, and some of them are just based on bullshit. But they have one thing in common. I think that everybody on YouTube, or a lot of people on YouTube anyway, the majority of those that I've seen, are trying to put things through the perspective of rose-colored glasses, right? You wanna present life as something that can be changed, like the actual nature of life, and you want to find a semblance of happiness in your existence. So you are focusing on the positive and you are presenting these perfunctory and simplistic solutions to life complex problems. And I think that's completely counterproductive. I think that leads to the opposite result. At least that's what it did to me, right? I was reading all these books. I was listening to people talk about how easy it is to change your life, even though they say that it's difficult, right? So they give you this simple solution of what you're supposed to do, like a 3-step model. Well, based on stoicism, you have to be focused on yourself and you have to not care about the outcomes of certain situations. You only need to care about your input. And then if you do those things and if you're able to control yourself emotionally, then your life is going to be much better, right? And that sounds super easy. It's just barely any kind of inconvenience to do this, and no profound change is required in your mindset, in your ability to perceive the things around you. Things will just change once you set your mind to it, and nothing can basically stop you, right? It's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, but you can do it. Don't worry about it. The reality is that maybe you can't. The reality is that maybe some of us are not going to have this super meaningful life that we are all dreaming of and we all see when we watch a Hollywood movie. That's not really how life is. And I think that's what, is missing from a lot of the content out there. The fundamental reason why I think a lot of people are missing the boat on this is because they are sparing the most important detail about life. And for me, that's the fact that life is suffering. Like, you can open any kind of philosophical book, you can look at any type of religious text out there, and that will be the underlying message that, people are kind of not putting out there and obfuscating in a way that I think is rather cynical, and it doesn't do justice to the listener and to the audience, right? It's basically disingenuous, is what I'm saying. Because, okay, maybe you don't believe me, right? Maybe you think that I am full of it and that I'm just an angry man sitting here in the middle of the night. Even though it's 8 o'clock, it seems like it's the middle of the night. The sun's been down for quite a while. But that's not really the reality, right? I mean, I do feel a certain type of way at this moment, but this is not the reason for me making this video. The reason for me making it is because I want to really have a true expression of who I am and how I feel about things, and this is the best way for me to do it, I feel. And I think it can also be helpful to people if things are put in the right perspective, and then if the expectations are set in a way that's a little bit more reasonable, than, as long as you apply yourself, you can achieve this magical existence that a lot of other people are having. Because I think they're also full of it, right? I don't think there's this thing that everybody is trying to portray, that this happiness that a lot of people out there are trying to present to the world. I think that's just a facade. And I go back to the suffering, right? I said life is suffering, and that every religious text or philosophical thought that you encounter will show this true nature of life in one way or another. So yeah, I mean, look at Jesus, right? Everybody's favorite folk hero. Or some people believe that he actually existed. I don't wanna denigrate your beliefs if that's one of you. Everybody has the right to believe whatever they want, and whatever brings you peace of mind, right? If you believe in Christianity and that those doctrines, more power to you. I don't, obviously, but I have respect for different religious beliefs and understandings. But what is he? So how does his life look once he becomes the Messiah, right? Because there's this little period there between the virgin birth and him actually becoming God, that history is not really clear on what exactly he was doing between his age of 0 and I guess 32. But in between that period, I guess he was chilling, doing some carpeting. But once he became the prophet, right? What happened to him? Initially people were very happy, right? Oh, he is the Messiah, is among us. And then they started persecuting him. And how did it end for him? Well, he was dragging a cross, and then he eventually was, spent a little bit of time on the cross, and then he died, right? So people tortured him, beat him, betrayed him, and then they killed him. So that was kind of the quintessence of his existence as a prophet, right? You want to look at somebody else's work? Okay, let's look at Schopenhauer, right? That's what I'm reading now. That's what's partially inspiring me to this video. So he says that the human will is the only thing that's eternal, right? Our bodies, they decay, we die. Our physical self, the manifestation of your and my personal will, is going to go away eventually. It's not going to be part of this world forever. But during the period of time where it manifests within our bodies, how do we live? We have two options, right? Two sets of consciousness. One is focused on achieving goals, which are far enough out of our reach, so that they can bring meaning and make our lives interesting. And they are also challenging enough to, make us want to pursue them, right? So let's say you want to be rich, or you want to be famous, or you want to have a nice house, or you want to have a nice car, or you want to have an awesome wife, right? And you want to have 5 kids. I mean, these are the latter part of those goals are a little bit more meaningful in my mind, but maybe you are very far from even having a girlfriend at this point in time, and you definitely have no kids, right? So it's pretty far away into the future. And then what happens if you achieve any of those things, right? The money, the fame, the family, whatever the case may be, whatever tickles your fancy. Well, you get bored with it. That's what happens. You don't want it anymore. Not in the same way that you wanted it before you actually obtained it, right? So these are the two states of mind that Schopenhauer talks about. One is the pursuit of this happiness that everybody's talking about. And then the second is actually obtaining it and becoming bored with it. Or you want to look at Stoicism, okay? Everybody's favorite philosophy on YouTube. Also my favorite, by the way. What does Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman philosopher, talk about? Emperor as well. What was his existence like? What is he so famous for? He talks about discipline, right? He talks about focusing on himself. He talks about not allowing other people to take over your emotional state like you would not allow them to take over your physical body, right? And what does that mean? Is that easy? Is that something that everybody can do? Is that something that not all of us, is that not the thing that all of us aspire towards achieving, right? Does this not require discipline and consistent effort and perseverance and struggling? And another word for all this is what? Suffering, right? It requires for you to suffer throughout your existence to become the person that you want to become. And so I say all of this, and these are just 3 examples. I can go on, but I don't wanna make this video half an hour. What's the point then of all of this, right? Where is this rant going? Why do you care about suffering, and why should that be something that you should accept as a pivotal part, as an inalienable truth, right? As something that cannot be avoided, as this gospel. You should accept it because it's the only reality that we have. That's it. You either are chasing something and you're striving towards achieving this ideal that you will never reach, the goals that we spoke about, or you have achieved it and you are bored with it and you have to learn to live with yourself anyway. And in either case, boredom is suffering and pursuit of happiness, which I think is stupid, but because you never will obtain it. Happiness is not something that exists, right? In my mind, that's my personal philosophy. The reality is that even if you're pursuing it, you're still suffering because you're doing all those things that you don't want to do. You have to wake up, you have to go to a job that you probably don't like, you have to do things that you don't want to do there, you have to interact with people that maybe some of them you like, maybe some of them you don't like. Either which way, you're not doing exactly what you want to be doing at every point in time in your day-to-day existence, right? 10,000 decisions apparently we are making on average each day. How many of those decisions do you make consciously is my first question. And then my second question is, how many of those would you make if you can make any decision whatsoever? So if you could do anything you wanted in the world, how many of the 10,000 decisions that you're going to make tomorrow are you going to take tomorrow, right? And then even if you did, again, even if you were in a place where you actually could do anything, where you have all these resources, like all this happiness that you've been chasing, even if you had full access to that, how happy would you actually feel with yourself? Would you not desire to do something else, to be a little bit more, I don't know, entertained? Or would you be happy just chilling with your millions on a yacht somewhere and watching Netflix and bathing in the amazing waters of the Caribbean, right? Whatever. I don't know. Either which way. The point of this rant is to bring us back to reality and to come to the only truth that matters when it comes to life, that everything, when it's lay it out in this format sounds very easy, but the reality is that life is just suffering, right? And what we need to do with that knowledge is to just embrace it. That's it. There's no like, oh, but if I do this, I'm going to feel much happier. And if I do that, I'm going to feel a lot less happy. And, it's all about the choices that you make and the this and the that. No. The choices that we make are important, but no single choice and no multitude of choices. Even if you make every single one of these 10,000 choices tomorrow, if every single one of them is correct, you're still not going to be happy. Because there's going to be something else that agitates you. There's going to be something else that irks you, that puts you in a foul mood. There's going to be something else that you feel like you're missing. There's going to be something else that doesn't exactly fit into the puzzle exactly the way you wanted it. There's always going to be friction. There's always going to be dissatisfaction in life. So we need to embrace the suffering that these irritants bring to our mind, to our being. And if we can do that, if we can understand that suffering is a natural part of life, like life, death, being born, dying, like these are kind of the three things that we have no control over and that are a given for any individual's life. Being born, dying, and suffering in between. That's it. If we do all that, if we come to a place where we can understand this reality, then we can at least alleviate some of the mental anguish that we put upon ourselves. Because what we cannot change, we cannot fight against. There's no reason for it. We're just wasting our mental energy. So instead of trying to fight against the stream of suffering, we should just roll with it and see where life takes us. Maybe it's a magical place where we actually feel a little bit more at ease with who we are. Maybe we are not able to fully relax and end to a place where, again, this dream nirvana state, where we are fully happy with the world around us and the people around us and where we are in this world and all that. But maybe we end in a place where we're actually comfortable enough with ourselves. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you find this information useful. And if you like and subscribe, maybe I catch you guys in the next one.